What's going on, plugins? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about what's going on with Kentucky basketball and John Calipari. Before we get into this video, make sure you drop a like, and if you're new here, sub to the channel and become a part of the family. Now let's get into the video. It's a lot of things to talk about right now regarding Kentucky basketball and Coach Cal, but first let's talk about Kentucky. The season hasn't lived up to expectations so far, and they have a bunch of disappointing losses, and fans are frustrated with the team right now. It's getting so bad, at one point the fans wanted Coach Cal fired, but we'll talk about that later on in the video. Things really started going downhill for Kentucky when they lost to Alabama 78-52. This was an embarrassing conference loss, losing by 26 points. Alabama was dominating Kentucky early, and you can just tell it was going to be a long night for them. Kentucky started the game slow and came out shooting 2 for 10 from the field. They dug themselves a hole that they couldn't get out of, and as the game went on, it got worse. Kentucky was down by 11 in the first half, only scoring 24 points, and in the second half, they only scored 28 points. Cason Wallace is in foul trouble early, picking up 2 fouls, and Oscar probably had one of his worst games ever, going 1 for 7 from the field and only scoring 4 points in 23 minutes. 4 points is a season low for Oscar, by the way. The only bright spot from this game was Wheeler, who scored 15 points, and Reeves, who scored 20 points off the bench. Also, Wheeler's the only Kentucky player this game who scored double digits, so this was a bad game for Kentucky. They couldn't get anything going, and sometimes that happens to teams. They came out and got blown out, so I really wasn't too worried about this game, because games like this can happen, but this is where things got really bad for Kentucky when they lost to South Carolina. They lost a close game with the final score being 71-68, and this loss snapped Kentucky's 20-game home winning streak. That winning streak was the longest streak in the SEC before the loss. They are 1-3 in SEC play for the first time since the 1986-1987 season, which is crazy when you think about it. So that stat right there lets you know Kentucky's having one of the worst seasons right now under Coach Cal. Kentucky was a 19.5-point favorite, which didn't make any sense. I don't know why the odds were so high for this game after they just suffered a blowout loss to Alabama. But anyways, Kentucky was the favorites going into this game against South Carolina. Kentucky struggled to do anything offensively and defensively. South Carolina came out hot this game, especially from 3, and out-rebounded Kentucky. South Carolina ended the game going 11 for 20 from 3 and had 32 rebounds as a team, while Kentucky struggled from 3, going 3 for 10. Kentucky had no answer for Meechie Johnson, who went off for a game-high 26 points. He was making it rain from 3, going 6 for 10, and star freshman G.G. Jackson had 16 points and made 2 threes. Oscar had a bounce-back game for Kentucky, scoring 19 points, so it's good he didn't have back-to-back bad performances, because that game he had against Alabama was horrible. The loss to South Carolina will make Kentucky fans frustrated with Coach Cal and wanted him fired. A fan actually got kicked out of the arena for having a sign that says, "Please go to Texas," but we'll talk about Coach Cal and the Texas rumors at the end of the video. But anyways, things are looking like they're starting to turn around for Kentucky when they recently got a win against Tennessee, so they finally won their second game in the SEC. Kentucky's unranked, and Tennessee's currently ranked 5th in the country, so this was a big win for them because things were looking good for the program when they're sitting at a 1-3 record in the SEC before this game, so everything is looking like it's moving in the right direction. Oscar had a good showing, having a double-double with 15 points and 13 rebounds. He was on fire this game, getting whatever he wanted. Antonio Reeves was a bucket off the bench, scoring 18 points, and perfect from the free throw line, going 8 for 8. Cason Wallace was scoreless this game with 0 points in 22 minutes, but Kentucky got the win, so that's all that matters. Even though Kentucky bounced back and got a win against an SEC opponent, something is still wrong with this Kentucky basketball team. The talent is there on the squad, but they're not playing like it, and they're underperforming right now. It might be because the freshmen Cason Wallace and Chris Livingston are not playing to their full potential. Cason Wallace has seemed inconsistent at times this season. He's only averaging 10.9 points and 3.8 assists. He has had 8 games so far this season where he hasn't scored double-digit points, and 3 of those games came against Alabama and South Carolina, which are the biggest losses on the season so far, and the other game was against Tennessee, which Kentucky won. So right now, Cason Wallace is in a little slump, but I hope he gets it together soon. Kentucky needs him to perform well down the stretch, especially with all these SEC games they have. It won't be an easy road. Another freshman that's underperforming is Chris Livingston, who's only averaging 5.4 points and 2.9 rebounds. He has had 15 games this season where he didn't score double digits, and 2 of those games he was scoreless. I expect him to come in and dominate on the boards, maybe averaging 6 to 8 rebounds a game and at least 12 to 15 points a game, but right now it's been a disappointing season for him. I'm hoping he'll have a few dominating games before the season is over. Some things I think Coach Cal should do is switch up the offense and put more shooters on the court with Oscar. I feel like Kentucky relies on Oscar way too much. If Oscar individuals on the court with players who can create their own shot, it'll make his job a lot more easier. I like Wheeler, but maybe Coach Cal should have him come off the bench for the rest of the season. Cason Wallace needs the ball more in his hands and give him more opportunities to score. Maybe run plays for him early in games so he can score and get his confidence back. Also, Kentucky needs to shoot the ball better from three as a team. So overall, I feel like the freshmen are underperforming and Coach Cal should tweak their offense a little bit, but that's just my personal opinion. But plugins, what do y'all think is wrong with Kentucky and what they should fix moving forward? Drop y'all opinions in the comments. Now let's talk about Coach Cal. It's rumors that Coach Cal could leave Kentucky after this season. Now I don't believe this is going to happen, especially with him having a lifetime contract with Kentucky and the class he has coming in next season, which includes players like DJ Wagner, Aaron Bradshaw, Robert Dillingham, Justin Edwards, and Reed Shepard. That could end up being one of the best recruiting classes Coach Cal ever had. But it's a rumor floating around that he could leave for Texas. 24/7 Sports already reported that Texas has already reached out to him about the opening. And 24/7 Sports went as far as saying if a competitive offer is made, then Cal would likely jump at it. Texas does have a lot of money to offer a new head coach. So maybe Coach Cal will consider the Texas job, but what do y'all think, plugins? Could he potentially leave Kentucky for Texas for the right price? Drop y'all opinions in the comments. Coach Cal did shut down the rumors, but I think we all expected him to give a statement shutting down the rumors, and this is what he had to say. I haven't talked to anybody. My concern right now is my guys, my team, and getting this right. I only want to talk about this job. I love this job. I love this group. But Kentucky fans, do y'all believe this statement? Do you think he hasn't been in talks with Texas? Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. I want to point out something with his contract that I found interesting. If he wanted to get out of his contract, he would have to do a contract buyout. Jeff Goodman tweeted that he still has 6 years left on his 10-year deal he signed in 2019, just shy of $40 million guaranteed on the table after the season. There's an offset that will lower what Kentucky will owe him if he gets another job. So it looks like it's a way for Coach Cal to get out of his contract with Kentucky, so he's not stuck, and it looks like it wouldn't cost Kentucky much for a contract buyout. But as of right now, it looks like he's committed to turning the season around and not paying attention to the Texas head coaching rumors. But if things continue to spiral out of control for Kentucky this season, then the Texas rumors are going to become louder and louder. So let's see if Coach Cal can turn things around and start winning games against SEC opponents. He already got a big win against Tennessee, so Kentucky has a lot of confidence moving forward. The last rumor I read about is that Coach Cal and the athletic director from Kentucky don't speak at all, and that the athletic director is almost entirely disconnected from the program, attending very few games and no practices. It's reported that Coach Cal wants a new practice facility and already raised $30 million from donations from former Kentucky players who had went to the NBA, but the athletic director blocked the request, and it looks like Coach Cal is not getting his practice facility no time soon. But the athletic director shut down the rumors a few days ago, basically saying him and Coach Cal have a good relationship and he does attend practices, so maybe this is not a big deal. But Coach Cal has been making a big push to get a new practice facility since last year, so hopefully he will get one soon. But what do y'all think, plugins? Do y'all believe behind the scenes that Coach Cal and the athletic director are beefing, or you think that it's really nothing? Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Make sure y'all drop a like on the video and sub to the channel. Drop y'all opinions in the comments on Coach Cal being rumored for the Texas head coaching job and how good Kentucky has been so far this season. Turn on post notifications so you know when I post. I got a few more college videos dropping soon, so you don't want to miss out on that. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.